They said I was lucky to have him. When I was 6, I lost everything. My parents, my home, my world. A car crash, they said. One second I was giggling in the back seat, the next I was covered in blood that wasn't mine. And then came him. Darian Wolf. 35. A man with no family, no children, no softness. Cold eyes. Sharp suits. Whispers surrounded him. Some called him a billionaire, some a criminal, some said he had no heart at all. But for some reason, he took me in. He raised me. No one dared question him. No one dared ask why. He became my guardian. But he never touched me with kindness. There were no bedtime stories, no warm hugs. Just rules, discipline, silence. He gave me everything: education, safety, a house filled with luxury. But he never gave me himself. I used to crave his approval like air. He was the only face I saw growing up. He didn't like when I cried. He didn't like when I smiled too much. I became good at being quiet, good at being perfect. I watched him from afar, studied him. I knew how he took his coffee, how he hated lies, how he locked his jaw when angry. I knew him like a god. And he saw me as a shadow. But then I turned 18. And everything changed. It was late. I was walking down the staircase when I heard voices in his study. 2 men. One laughed, "Your girl's grown up, Wolf. Bet the world would kill to have a piece of her." Silence. Then Darian's voice, calm, deadly. "She's not for the world. She's mine." I froze. My heart stopped. Did I hear it right? Mine. He saw me. Not as a daughter. But something else. The next morning, everything felt different. He watched me more closely. His gaze lingered too long. He told me not to wear shorts around the house. He moved me into the bedroom down the hall from his. He started calling me down for dinner. Sitting across from me. Talking. Watching. And I didn't know how to feel. Because part of me was afraid. And part of me, the part he raised in silence, control, and fear, felt something worse. Curiosity. That night, I stood in front of the mirror, wearing one of the silk dresses he'd given me for my birthday. It clung to my body in ways I'd never seen before. I looked, grown. A knock. "Come in," I whispered. Darian entered. His eyes darkened the moment he saw me. He didn't say a word. Just walked slowly, like a lion approaching prey. "Take that off," he said. "You look like temptation." I blinked. "You bought it." He stepped closer. "And I regret it." The air shifted. My skin prickled. My heart thudded. "You raised me," I said, a whisper. "I protected you," he corrected. "And now I'm claiming what I kept safe." My legs trembled. I didn't move. Didn't speak. His hand brushed my cheek. Gentle. Possessive. Dangerous. "Tomorrow," he murmured, "you'll wake up in the master bedroom." And just like that, he left. The door clicked shut. I stood frozen, the dress suddenly too tight, too sinful. I didn't sleep that night. How could I? His words echoed through my mind like a haunting melody. "Tomorrow, you'll wake up in the master bedroom." Not a suggestion. Not a request. A command. Cold. Certain. Unstoppable. I stared at the ceiling for hours, listening to the silence of the mansion. Every tick of the grandfather clock downstairs felt like it was counting down the last moments of who I used to be. When the sun rose, I found myself standing outside his bedroom door. The master bedroom. I hesitated. My fingers curled into fists at my sides. I wasn't a child anymore, and I wasn't his possession. But the truth I didn't want to admit was this: I didn't knock because part of me wanted to see what he would do. The door opened before I touched it. He was waiting. Darian stood in the doorway, shirtless, dark sweatpants riding low on his hips. His eyes met mine, and something primal sparked behind them. "Come in," he said, voice rough with sleep, and something else. I stepped inside. His room was massive. Dark wood. Black silk sheets. A king-sized bed that looked far too big and far too intimate. The room smelled like him, power, danger, and something warm I couldn't name. "You didn't sleep," he said. I shook my head. "Neither did I." He stepped closer. I didn't move. My breath hitched. My heart pounded. He reached out, his fingers brushing a loose strand of hair behind my ear. His touch burned. "You're not scared of me," he whispered. "I think I should be." He smiled, but it wasn't kind. It was dark. Possessive. "You were always brave. Even when you were small. You'd walk into a room of monsters and never flinch. But I'm not a monster, little one." His hand slid down to my shoulder. "I'm the man who kept you safe. And now I want what's mine." I swallowed hard. "You raised me." His jaw tightened. "Don't say that." "But it's true." He stepped back suddenly, like the truth had slapped him. His hands clenched. He turned away from me. "I kept you alive," he said. "Trained you. Gave you everything. I never wanted to want you, but you became, not a child. Not my daughter. You became the only thing I couldn't control." Silence. Then he looked over his shoulder, eyes dark. "You will sleep in this room now." "My room. But I won't touch you unless you ask me to." My breath caught. "I never will," I whispered. He smiled faintly. "We'll see." I moved into the master bedroom that afternoon. My things arrived, folded neatly. His staff didn't question it. They didn't even blink. In this house, Darian Wolf's word was law. Days passed in a strange silence. He didn't touch me. But his presence lingered everywhere. He watched me when I walked into a room. He corrected my posture. He told me to stop biting my lip. He read the books I left open. And every night, I fell asleep in his bed, inches away from the man who could ruin me with one word. And he was ruining me. Not with force. With silence. With power. With the slow unraveling of everything I thought I knew. Then one night, everything changed. We had dinner together in the massive dining room. Candlelight. Wine I wasn't old enough to drink, but he poured anyway. I wore a simple black dress. I didn't plan to look seductive, but his eyes told me I had failed. "You're too quiet tonight," he said, watching me. "Thinking. About? You." He leaned forward, elbows on the table. "What about me? You don't feel guilty? For wanting you? For taking me?" His gaze sharpened. "I haven't taken anything. Yet." I stood. My chair scraped the floor. My heart pounded. "I'm not yours," I said. He rose slowly, towering over me. "Then leave," he said, voice soft. "Go. Pack your bags. Walk out. I won't stop you." I stared at him. He was testing me. I turned, walked to the door. My hand touched the knob. But I couldn't open it. My body refused. Because I didn't want to leave. I wanted to understand why this man, this cold protector, had become the only thing I craved. I turned back. He was still standing there. Waiting. I walked to him, slowly. My fingers brushed his chest. "You scare me," I whispered. "You should be terrified." I looked up into his eyes. "Then ruin me." His breath hitched. That mask he always wore, it cracked. He kissed me. Not soft. Not sweet. It was a claim. A war. A man devouring the one thing he swore to protect. And I kissed him back. Because I wasn't a little girl anymore. I was a woman raised by a wolf. And now, I was in the lion's den. His kiss was fire. But what came after was the burn. I woke up tangled in black silk sheets, bare skin against his. His arm was slung across my waist like a chain. I stared at the ceiling, heart thundering. The room smelled of sex and secrets. And I wasn't the same girl who had walked in here. Darian stirred beside me. His grip tightened. "You're still here." I didn't answer. My voice was somewhere between fear and desire. "I thought you'd run," he said. I thought about it. He leaned over me, the sheets slipping off his body. "Then why didn't you?" "Because I didn't want to." His smile was slow. "Dangerous." "Good." I sat up, pulling the sheet around me. "What now?" "Now," he repeated, standing. His body was carved perfection, all strength and shadows. "Now you learn what it means to belong to me." He wasn't gentle. Not with his touch. Not with his rules. He didn't force me, but he didn't let me forget who he was. Darian Wolf, the man who raised me. Now the man who claimed me. Every day blurred into the next. He trained me harder than ever, discipline, obedience, precision. But at night, his hands were on me. Possessive. Demanding. And I wanted every second of it. But the whispers began. Among the staff. In town. They called me the girl he groomed. The girl he stole. I started to doubt myself. One night, I confronted him. "Do you love me, or do you just own me?" His expression was unreadable. Then he answered, "Is there a difference?" I slapped him. Hard. His jaw clenched, but he didn't stop me. "I'm not a thing." I screamed. "No," he said softly. "You're my obsession." I left that night. Packed a single bag and ran. No bodyguards. No driver. Just silence. I disappeared. 4 months, I lived in a different world. A normal one. I got a job at a bookstore. Rented a small apartment. Changed my name. But I couldn't change what was inside me. I missed him. Not the power. Not the danger. Him. His touch. His presence. I hated myself for it. Until he found me. 6 months later, I walked out of the bookstore and he was standing across the street. Dressed in black. Silent. Watching. My heart stopped. He didn't move. I walked to him slowly. "You found me." "I always will." I slapped him again. He took it. "You ruined me," I whispered. He leaned in. "Then let me build you again." I stared into his eyes. And I knew the truth. This wasn't a love story. It was a war. And I had already surrendered.